Hello everybody, welcome to Level Up Languages. Today we're going to be leveling up our Spanish with Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm going to go ahead and play the opening clip in its entirety in Spanish with subtitles, and I want you to try to understand as much of it as you can. And if you can't understand even a word, don't worry, we'll break down each sentence word by word so that you can better understand everything that's going on and help you level up your Spanish. So, let's get into it.
Todas las unidades acudan al Ayuntamiento de Gotham. El Joker ha sido apresado. Batman se dirige hacia la isla de Arkham.
¡Atras, idiota! ¡Tengo una bomba! Bien. Hola, Sharpie. Me encanta cómo has dejado esto.
Para ti soy el alcaide Sharp. ¡Bous!
Frankie! ¿Qué tal tu mujer y los niños? Me echabas de
¡Vaya
menos.
payaso! Aquí hay mucha gente que está deseando hablar contigo.
De verdad, no me importa andar. Tan apretado, ¿no? Que me arrugas el traje.
Sacad de aquí a ese degenerado asqueroso.
Alcaide, algo no encaja. Me voy con él. ¿Ha llegado ya el comisario Bomba?
Sí, señor. Le está esperando en admisión. Ha llegado justo antes que usted.
A Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. Sharpie! ¡Me está sacando el lado bueno! ¿Pero qué digo? Todos son buenos, ¿verdad?
Esta vez le quiero bien encerrado. Como se escape una vez.
Mira cuántas seguridades. ¿Cómo se supone que voy a escapar de aquí?
Well, I hope you all understood at least a little bit of the Spanish. Maybe there's some words here or there, or maybe you understood most of it. But even if you didn't understand even a word, don't worry. This is the part where we're going to go through and break down sentence by sentence. Despecho. A todas las unidades acudan al Ayuntamiento de Gotham. Acudir means to attend or to proceed somewhere with a purpose. For example, acudir al médico means to go to the doctor or go see the doctor, as we say in English. Ayuntamiento means city hall.
El Joker ha sido apresado. Batman se dirige hacia la isla de Arkham.
El Joker ha sido apresado. Batman se dirige hacia la isla de Arkham.
El Joker ha sido apresado. Batman se dirige hacia la isla de Arkham.
Ha sido means has been in the third person conjugation. Of course, haber sido is if you're using the infinitive and you would change haber depending on who you're referring to. Of course, sido and estado can both mean have been, but in this case, ser is used in the context of the next word, which is apresado, which means captured or arrested. Next, we have dirigirse or se dirige. Batman se dirige. So this basically just means to head in a certain area, like head somewhere. Hacia means towards. So the whole phrase of dirigirse hacia means to head towards. And then, of course, you can say whatever it is afterwards. So in this case, Batman se dirige basically means Batman is heading hacia la isla, and isla means island. So Batman is heading towards Arkham Island.
¡Atras, idiota! ¡Tengo una bomba! Bien.
Atras Idiota, Tengo una bomba.
¡Atras, idiota! ¡Tengo una bomba! Bien.
Atras is the only word that I'm going to showcase here, and it is a very good word to know in Spanish. Atras means back. It can be used to tell somebody to back up or to step back, get back, anything like that. So, very good word to know.
Hola, Sharpie. Me encanta cómo has dejado esto.
Para ti soy el alcaide Sharp.
Hola, Sharpie. Me encanta cómo has dejado esto. Para ti, soy el alcaide Sharp.
Hola, Sharpie. Me encanta cómo has dejado esto.
Para ti soy el alcaide Sharp.
So quite a few to get through here. Let's start off with me encanta. Me encanta basically means I love, but in a non-romantic way. So, for example, you can say me encanta esta música, right? It means I love this music. And it's kind of like used in that way. So in this case, you know, I love cómo has dejado esto. Cómo has dejado basically means how you've left something, quite literally, but it in this case is used to say what you've done with the place. So how you've done with all this. So that's what this basically means. Next we have para ti and alcaide. Alcaide just means warden. It's not a very common word, but para ti is very common. In this context, it's basically saying to you. So in this context, it's to you, I am Warden Sharp.
Frankie, ¿qué tal tu mujer y los niños? Me echabas de
¡Calla,
menos.
payaso! Aquí hay mucha gente que está deseando hablar contigo.
Frankie, ¿qué tal tu mujer y los niños? ¿Me echabas de menos? Calla, payaso. Aquí hay mucha gente que está deseando hablar contigo.
Frankie, ¿qué tal tu mujer y los niños? Me echabas de
¡Calla,
menos.
payaso! Aquí hay mucha gente que está deseando hablar contigo.
So first here we have mujer, which means woman, but it's more common to use mujer to refer to someone's wife. So mujer y los niños, the wife and the kids. Me echabas de menos means were you missing me or did you miss me? Really, it could be both. This is a very Spain thing to say. So if you're learning Latin American Spanish, you'd be better off saying me extrañaste or me extrañabas. Both of these work. Calla means shut it or shut up. Cállate can also be used in the same way, but calla is just a quicker way of saying it. Payaso just means clown. Aquí hay. This is like a very common phrase that you'll hear a lot. Aquí hay means there are, here there are or there is. And it doesn't matter if it's plural or not, like in English. I is just a way of saying there is or there are in anything. So you can use that a lot. Desear, or in this case, está deseando, basically means to desire or to really want. It can also mean to wish something as well. And of course, the rest of the sentence, hablar means to speak, and contigo means with you.
De verdad, no me importa andar. Tan apretado, ¿no? Que me arrugas el traje.
De verdad, no me importa andar tan apretado, ¿no? Que me arrugas el traje.
De verdad, no me importa andar. Tan apretado, ¿no? Que me arrugas el traje.
De verdad means really, but in the way of saying like something honestly. Like, de verdad no lo sé, which means like truthfully, honestly, I don't know. You can also use it at the end of a sentence to kind of imply like, really? Like, did he really do that? ¿Lo hizo? ¿De verdad? No me importa means either I don't care or I don't mind, which is kind of weird in English because if you were to say I don't care to walk, it's different than saying I don't mind walking. But in Spanish, you can say no me importa andar, I don't mind walking. Que me arrugas el traje. So when using this structure, I want to kind of briefly talk about this. In Spanish, it's more common when you're referring to an action being done to a part of you rather than yourself. It's very common to still use me. So in this case, me arrugas sounds like me, wrinkling me, but the el traje is really what's being wrinkled. It's just that me implies that it's your suit. So the same goes with this phrase, which is me golpeó el brazo, which means he hit my arm, but really it's he hit me in the arm, I guess, or he hit me and then the arm is what he hit. That belongs to me. It's kind of a weird structure, but over time, you'll get used to it.
Sacad de aquí a ese degenerado asqueroso.
Alcaide, algo no encaja. Me voy con él.
Saca de aquí a ese degenerado asqueroso.
Sacad de aquí a ese degenerado asqueroso.
Alcaide, algo no encaja. Me voy con él.
So sacar de aquí means to get something out of here. So if you're taking something away from here, aquí just means here, and then sacar means to take out. So that's all that really means. Now, one thing to mention here, again, because this is the Spain dub, it's saying sacad, which is for vosotros. It's the imperative or the command form of take out for sacar. And it's using vosotros, so it's going to use sacad. If you're learning Latin American Spanish, you're going to hear saquen. Saquen is more common when referring to ustedes, so you're going to hear that more in Latin America. So asqueroso, degenerado is degenerate, which is kind of obvious with the cognate here. But asqueroso means something that is filthy or dirty. A common phrase that people use a lot in Spanish is "que asco," like how horrible, how nasty, you know. Like if you're talking about someone who's just a nasty person, asco and asqueroso. So it just means filthy or nasty. Algo no encaja. So encajar literally means to fit something, like to fit like a piece in or fit something in a box, anything like that. Caja means box, encaja, so encajar. So the phrase though, algo no encaja, basically means something doesn't fit or something doesn't seem right, something seems off. So this is a very common phrase, very good phrase to learn. And finally, we have me voy con él, which just means I'm going with him.
¿Ha llegado ya el comisario Gotham?
Sí, señor. Le está esperando en admisión. Ha llegado justo antes que usted.
¿Ha llegado ya el comisario Gordon? Sí, señor. Le está esperando en admisión. Ha llegado justo antes que usted.
¿Ha llegado ya el comisario Gotham?
Sí, señor. Le está esperando en admisión. Ha llegado justo antes que usted.
Ha llegado ya. So llegar means to arrive. Ha llegado means has arrived. And the ya can either be like yet or already. It can be both of those. So ha llegado ya could be has he arrived yet or has he arrived already. Next, we have le está esperando or esperar a alguien o algo. So this can basically be to await someone or something. And in the sentence used in the game, le está esperando, le is used in the formal way, implied by the sí señor. Le está esperando. Le is implied with usted. So it's essentially saying he is awaiting you. So le está esperando, he is awaiting you in admisión, in admissions. Finally, we have justo. So justo means just like in English, and justo antes means just before. So justo antes que usted means just before you.
Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. Sharpie! ¡Me está sacando el lado bueno! ¿Pero qué digo? Todos son buenos, ¿verdad?
A Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. Me está sacando el lado bueno, pero qué digo, todos son buenos, ¿verdad?
Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. Sharpie! ¡Me está sacando el lado bueno! ¿Pero qué digo? Todos son buenos, ¿verdad?
A Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. So if you aren't familiar with how the structure of this works, this is going to be a really good example. So when you're using something like me gusta or le gusta or me encanta, le encanta, it's different than it is in English. But basically when you're using this, if you're wanting to refer to someone specifically, you would say a, then the person who likes the object or whatever it is you're referring to. So in this case, a Sharpie, the character Sharpie. So a Sharpie, le encantan. So le would be also implying to Sharpie. The reason that you would add both is just for emphasis. So a Sharpie le encantan. And the reason you say encantan and not encanta is because it's multiple cameras. So a Sharpie le encantan las cámaras. Next, we have sacar a alguien el lado bueno. So again, how we mentioned earlier about the reflexives being used. So mi arrugas, el traje. Same thing with mi está sacando el lado bueno. So again, you're referring to yourself and someone else doing the action, and the el lado bueno is the object of you. So this again is a phrase that you may want to know. Again, in English, similar to how we say, "Are you getting my good side? Is it my good side?" You would say the same in Spanish using sacar. So, me está sacando el lado bueno means, "Are you getting my good side?" Next, we have similar to, I wouldn't say a filler phrase or a filler word, but it is a phrase that you can use from time to time, and it's que digo. Que digo is basically just like, what am I saying? Que digo, no sé, what am I saying? I don't know. So it's kind of like a filler phrase that you can use, but it's pretty good to know. And finally, we have the other word, verdad, being used again in the same way, basically as a way to say, like, right. In this case, todos son buenos. They're all good, verdad, right? Todos son buenos, verdad? They're all good, right? All right, everybody, that's going to be it for now. I hope this helped you out with your Spanish, maybe even a little bit or maybe a lot. I'm going to leave the notes down below in the description for anybody who wants to download them or study them or whatever. I'm not going to need them anymore. Also, if you're studying other languages such as French, Italian, or German, I recommend checking out Batman Arkham Asylum in various languages here.